I'm so glad to be here to just share my experience doing my dissertation. So I'm Erpin and I'm from Indonesia, and my topic of my dissertation was about washback effects of language preparation for awardees of LPDP, or Indonesian Endowment Fund for Education, and this from two perspectives, from the teachers, IELTS teachers, and also from the IELTS learners. And this actually also why I want to choose this dissertation, because it was based on my experience, because I have really involved in the IELTS preparation class during 3 months. So let's start it. All right. The first one, as the international students, I do believe that most of us know about IELTS, right? So I believe that I would like to ask you which one are you guys also from international students? Like, can you just raise your hand? All right. So I think that I believe that all of you also know about IELTS before, because me as well, like before becoming international student in Queens, I need to get IELTS at least overall 6.5. Is it right? Yeah. Okay, so I think that all of you have known about IELTS. So IELTS is actually established in 1989, and then it's made by Cambridge and also by British Council and IDP, or International Development Program. So IELTS is actually used 9 band scores, which is from which is band score 1 is non-user, and if you get 9 in IELTS scores, means that you are the expert users. So as we know that IELTS is divided into two, which is the general training and then academic. And for the general training, as we know that it's only for the people who want to like work in a company which use English as the primary language, and also academic is for university admission or for professional registration purposes. So as we know that there are 4 skills that IELTS will measure. The first one is listening, reading, and writing and speaking. So this dissertation I only focus on academic IELTS because this is one of the requirements for the university admission. And then LPDP, what is the LPDP actually? So LPDP is one of the Indonesian scholarship. This scholarship is only for Indonesian citizens who want to study in Indonesia or even who want to study abroad. But for this dissertation, I just focus on the students or awardees or people who have already got the scholarship who want to study abroad. Like me, I actually one of the awardees of this scholarship. So that's why I want to choose this dissertation, because I want to know or investigate about the IELTS preparation class that conducted by LPDP. So this scholarship actually is formed in 2011. So it's in Indonesia actually there are some scholarships like Australia Award Scholarship, and the others like Fulbright. That is from USA, but I just focus on the LPDP scholarship because this is what the scholarship that I got. All right. So the next one is actually the scholarship has 2 programs. The first one is regular, and the second one is affirmation. So what is the affirmation? Is someone like me, I live in the rural area of Indonesia, the eastern part of Indonesia. So, and then affirmation also for students or for people who are disabled or who are smart or outstanding people, but they live under poverty. So affirmation program is actually for Indonesian citizens who live in the eastern part of Indonesia, which is they actually still live in under poverty compared to the Indonesia who live in the middle or in the west of Indonesia, which is they are more like they are more fortunate than people who live in the eastern part of Indonesia. Okay, so I live here in the eastern part of Indonesia. So most of affirmation program, LPDP give the scholarship from the eastern part, because the eastern part of Indonesia, they actually like I said before, they live under poverty. So because government want to increase the human resource in eastern part of Indonesia, that's why they give the scholarship for the citizens or Indonesian society who live in the eastern part. So that's why before going to study abroad, definitely they need to achieve the requirements from the university, which is IELTS. So that's why government they provide IELTS preparation class, or like to give them preparation before they are doing IELTS preparation. So I just want to ask you, like, does anyone here ever join in IELTS preparation class in your country? No? Alright. So next one, affirmation is, there are 3 and 6 programs, so I just focus on the 3 programs. And then, this IELTS preparation class, actually, to want to increase the students' English ability for, especially for the awardees itself, and then just continue to the research question. So actually, I have 3 research questions. The first one is what the students they expect in the IELTS preparation class before joining the class, and then the second one is that what do they get the expectation after joining the preparation class, and then the last one is the do teachers teachers materials is getting to the teacher materials and method do the effects of IELTS preparation class. So the method that I use is this mixed method approach, which is quantitative and qualitative. Because why I use this? Because the first one because I use the online questionnaire. I use Google Drive. I use Google Forms to send the questionnaire, because most of the participants are Indonesia. They are in Indonesia, and then I in Belfast, so I just send them a link to fulfill the questionnaire, online questionnaire. And then second one, after there are 3 questionnaires, so I give them for the students they have 2 questionnaires, and the teachers they only have 1 questionnaire. The first questionnaire is so this is the questionnaire A. Questionnaire A is explained about some question which is related to what is the expectation of the IELTS preparation itself. And then question B, they want to ask about what they have got from the IELTS preparation class. And questionnaire C is for the teachers, which is asked, do the IELTS preparation class affect their materials and also their methods in the class? So based on after fulfill the questionnaire, I select 5 students to interview and also 3 tutors to interview, because this is qualitative approach. So I just use small numbers, and then I use Skype interview because they were in Indonesia and I'm here. Then I just analyze the questionnaire using the type scales, which is 1 to 4. You can see on the slide. And then for the interview, I use I use this one. I use analyze thematic analysis. So I just code the interviews. Code what I have got from the interviews. So based on the result, the first question is that most of the students before they're joining the IELTS preparation class, they expect to get at least 6.5 based on the data that I got. Most of them, they want to get even like 7 or 8 after joining the IELTS preparation class. And also they want to get, they want to involve in IELTS activities or IELTS tests, rather than they don't care about anything in English, but they just want to get more about IELTS. And then the second question, after that I compare, after that, give me 1 minute more, right? Sorry. After that, I compare the questionnaire A and questionnaire B. So based on the result, most of the students, 13 students, they have already got their expectation. However, only 2 who didn't get their expectation score because they don't get 6.5. And for the teachers, fortunately, they only focus on the IELTS activities. They only give IELTS tasks about in the IELTS preparation class. So this is what I've got. So the conclusion is that based on the first certification, it means that all of the this actually have to so this actually, the first one is students have got their expectation, and then the second one, the teachers they the teacher only give like materials and the drilling about IELTS. So which mean in summary, which mean that I got two washback, like positive washback and negative washback. The negative washback because teachers only focus on the materials of IELTS, and the second one, the positive washback, is that because students they got what they expected, because most of the students they get 6.5. So I think that's all of my presentation. Thank you.
Any questions?
Okay, any question? All right.
How long take you to do this survey?
It's like 2 months. Yeah, almost 2 to 3 months. I do this research.
And you give them question form online first,
Yeah.
and then interview the students online.
Online, yeah.
With Skype.
I only use Skype, just using video call using Skype. Yeah.
And based on your results, what do you expect? You say they have a negative pushback,
Yeah.
and what you think the negative is that they only focus on else resources.
Yeah.
But what else do you expect?
Okay. So the result is that the first one, the first question of my dissertation, like what they expect. So I got from the data, most of the students they expect to get at least 6.5 in overall score, and then they want to at least they require or they get what the university admission want. So and the negative washback. Why I said negative washback? Because the teachers they only focus on the teaching IELTS about IELTS. They sometimes just ignore about to develop or increase their English skill. For example, like the teachers only teach all about what they will get in IELTS test, but they, for example, like the teachers sometimes they do not teach about like the daily activities, like when they will be in abroad. So sometimes the teachers only focus like all of the question all about IELTS. Sometimes they do not teach them like how to live in abroad or how to survive in foreign country, because they only teach and focus about the type question of IELTS. That's why I said it's like kind of negative washback. But why I said it positive washback? Why positive? Because most of the students they get their expectation scores, because most of them from the 15 participants, like 13 participants they have already got 6.5 after joining the IELTS preparation class. Okay. All right.
What language did you use during your Skype interview?
All right. So even though they are Indonesian, so I still use English as the interview, because I believe that because they have doing IELTS preparation class and they have already taken IELTS, so I use English as my interview. But sometimes when they do not know the English words, sometimes they just mix with Indonesian language. All right.
How long was
Okay.
How long was the time of interview for each participant?
Actually, it's like taken like 15 to 20 minutes, depend on their answer, because I don't limitate the time when they want to answer the question.
Your participants, how did you actually make contact with them? I mean, you said you interviewed them online,
Yeah.
but how did you? Because they were back in Indonesia, not
Yeah.
correct? So how did you get the participants
All right.
to be part of your study?
Okay, thank you. Because I said that before, I have already got the experience like this before, so I send email to the language center in one of the university in Indonesia which provide the IELTS preparation class, and then they said they agreed if they will send some numbers of the participant and email. So I contact the head of the language center first, and then I ask them to permit me to contact directly to the students and also to the teacher as well. And fortunately they let me to become them to be my participants. Alright.
Can I just ask, so your participants, had they already achieved 6.5? You know, when you interviewed them, they had achieved their 6.5.
Yeah.
Were they going to university or were they at university when you interviewed them?
Well, actually, they have already taken the IELTS preparation class, and then they have already got 6.5,
Okay.
and then they still waiting for trying to register to the university.
Okay, so they haven't started university. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
Any other
if
question?
everyone say yes to your,
Sorry?
everyone, your test say yes to
Yeah.
your question.
And not really, like it's because I use like Lakers scale, which is I will show you the type of questions. Yeah, like this one. This is for the students questionnaire. So I use like often, sometimes, not often, never. For example, like in questionnaire A, this is what they expect before joining the IELTS preparation class. Like in the IELTS preparation class, I expect to learn about the kinds of writing tasks of the IELTS preparation test. So they can choose one of them. Like they want to often or sometimes or not often or never. So I use in the questionnaire I use like Likert scales, but in the interview I will ask them based on the questionnaire A and questionnaire B and then what they have already answered. So after comparing two questionnaires, so I ask them based on the comparison what I've got in the questionnaire.
Can I ask one more? Sorry,
Okay.
one more question. Because I've actually taught IELTS, okay? So IELTS can be kind of problematic in relation to those students that need to get the 6.5 and then going to university. I think that there's a kind of gap between achieving 6.5 and kind of academic writing postgraduate or undergraduate level. Did your students, did they feel that they were ready for university, or did they think that was, getting the IELTS, that's all they needed? Because the literature is saying in relation to IELTS that it's a process, like academic writing. Some students believe that, well, I've got my 6.5, that's it. I don't need to keep, I suppose, improving, my academic English once I get into kind of undergraduate or postgraduate studies. Did they feel that they were ready for, or did your research find that, or?
Alright, okay, that's a good question. So, I asked them one by one that, do you think that what you have already got in IELTS preparation class, do you think that it will be quite enough to face the university? So they said that, yeah, I think it's quite enough because in writing tests, like in writing IELTS, they learn about academic writing, for example, like how to paraphrase and also how to analyze questions, like because they said that in the second question of IELTS in writing test, they said that there is like a question that push the students to analyze and to analyze critically about the question. For example, like compare about the two issues or two problems, and they also need to provide the solution of the. But some of them said that they are not really enough to face the university because they got bad score in writing, and then they said that they need to still prepare about themselves because I think, and they said that and one of them said that getting good score in writing doesn't mean that they also ready to face in university level. Alright, any other question? Sorry.
Sorry to interrupt. I know there are lots of other questions. That's why we've built in some time for having asking further questions over a cup of tea or coffee. So if I could ask you to hold on to your questions for Erpin, and he will very happily answer them at a later time. But next we're moving on to Woo John. So round of applause please for Erpin.